Hello, my fellow Tarnished. Today I'm going to bring you a real quick guide on a Blasphemous Blade build. This is the build I used to clear the game for my first ever try, and it's nice and easy. Flame Grant Me Strength is the first part, Golden Vow is the second part, then you just need the Blasphemous Blade and some stats. So let's have a look. Blasphemous Blade here, +9, maxed it out as much as I can put on there without making it a +10. And then stats. So look at the stats there: Vigor, Mind, Endurance, Strength, Dexterity. You got to focus on Vigor and a focus on Strength and Faith. So get that Vigor up, keep that high. You're always going to want to have Vigor to be at 40 by the time you get to my level, or around 100. And then you're going to want to make sure you utilize at least 35 faith, and the same thing, probably going to want to have, around 30 strength eventually as well, with a balance of a little bit of endurance. So keep your endurance up to around 20 and your strength on that 22 mark, so you can wield. If you want to deal more damage by hitting, you can just scale up your strength, and if you want to deal more damage with the flame, then just scale up your faith. Really simple and straightforward. I'm going to put some more gameplay on so you can see the blade in use, and at the end of this video also going to have the locations of those key parts of the build so you can go and get it just following this guide. There's also an option where you can use the Golden Vow as an incantation, so a cast, or you can get it earlier in the game as an Ash of War. And to do that, you just go to kill the horse instead of going to the sort of end game area in Caelid. One of them requires the medallion, so if you want to use the incantation, you need to get the medallion. But if you want a super early game, you can just use the Ash of War. First off, we have probably the most important part of the build, which is the Blasphemous Blade. For this, you're going to want to come to the Volcano Manor, progress the Volcano Manor story, do it all. It's your first playthrough, have fun with it, and eventually you're going to come to Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy, and you're going to have to beat him in a big boss fight using the Serpent's Spear, which comes when you go down there. After you kill him, you'll have to go to the Round Table Hold again, and then head up the staircase and go and speak to the woman to get the finger lady to get your Blasphemous Blade. I'll show a little bit of gameplay now on defeating the boss, just so you can have like a little look how to do it. There's plenty of guides up there on how to kill him, but it's really straightforward. You just use the serpent's spear you get, Serpent Slayer spear, and just fuck up Rykard with it, and he'll die pretty quickly. 2-phase fight, and then you'll get the remembrance, which you can go redeem. You just want to watch out for the one big bite attack he does, where he like grabs you, because you'll just lose all your health to that. And then also you want to out DPS him before the skulls come at the end, otherwise that's the only 2 times that I've trouble with him. And let's carry on in Caelid. So the next part is how to get the Flame Grant Me Strength. So here you can see where we are in Caelid. You need to come to the Caelid Highway South and hop on your horse. We're basically going up to that castle. So up to the left side of that castle on the outer wall, there's a few different ways up. You can take the road, or you can jump up like the trees and roots that are ahead. I'm just going to go up the road for simplicity's sake. But when you get up there, you follow and hug that wall, and you'll reach the Flame Grant Me Strength. Pick that up from the body, and that's going to be like your main power up for flame damage, and it's going to provide a lot of help. So yeah, follow this road up, take it left, up to the castle, hug the wall, and I'll let you watch the rest of the video. because you have two options for Golden Vow. I'm going to show you the option that I went with, which is the Incantation. So for the Incantation, you want to follow this route to that shack. So we'll come along here. Now, the reason why you might not want to go for this, so the Bridge of Inquiry, is because you will need to kind of make your way up past the medallion lift, and then you can ride up here. When you come up here the first time, you might get invaded as well, so just a warning for that. So you might not be able to go straight to the shack, but this is the route. So once you've dealt with that, you can reference back. And there is, just follow this route around here. Careful of all of the like Iron Maidens. Heading up here. Be careful of the wolves as well. Like they can jump and attack you, and they do quite a bit of damage. But they're also quite weak, so you can deal with them quite easily. So come here into the shack, and you'll just get the Golden Vow Incantation from the body. One of the best incantations in the game. And it's just sat right here. So pick that up, and that's really your build done. Unless you want to go for the other option, which is using it as an Ash of War. And I'll show you how to get it as an Ash of... Okay, so this is it as an Ash of War. You're going to need to come to this location here, Warmaster Shack, which most of you will have, but it's just in the starting area up towards the castle. And you're going to want to follow these blue markers. So set out some blue markers. You're going to want to ride and not stop. If you stop while riding through this forest, you'll be in trouble from the wolves, so just keep moving. You're going to come along here. And then, sort of, at the second wolves, just take a right. And then head up the hill. And then at the top of the hill, you're going to have to do a little bit of combat. You're going to have to take on a knight riding a horse. That's going to have the Ash of War. So right up here, I recommend just killing him on horseback. You can pretty easily just charge at him backwards and forwards for it. And yeah, it's not too difficult. It's a low level area. So you can just ride up. Take him on, and he will give you your... Okay guys, I think that should have helped you guys find everything you need for this build. Now please be aware, it's important to add as a disclaimer, this is supposed to just be like a beginner guide, getting you going with this build. There's a lot more you can do and add to it, so you can get, for example, some different talismans, you can get some more upgrades for your flask. But those all require a lot more investment and time to go and explore and find those things. Whereas this is really, you know, stuff you might have already or picked up on the way through your game. Combine them together and you can have a solid build, and just knowing that it can get you through endgame and kill the final boss. So I'm going to put a bit of a clip in of me killing the final boss in Elden Ring, as well, as I know there's a lot of new people playing since the DLC released. So hopefully this build helps and gives you a bit of faith in it, because there's always those parts where you get like halfway through the game and you're like, I don't know if this build can finish the game or whatever. Just know you can, and you can spec more into, you know, more into strength is actually probably better for your first playthrough, because you're going to be running out of FP if you haven't invested into mind or into your flasks, and you can play it safe with health flasks, vigor, strength, and then a bit of faith for a bit of damage. So I'll play the last bit of the clip, and if there's any questions, please leave them below. I can answer them about other useful parts of the build, etc.